Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and today is the day that you have all been maybe waiting for. And that's going to be the math for the Power of Attorney event that's going to be starting at Wednesday at hopefully 2 p.m. You know, who knows these days with the way that events have been working and timers and all of that. I hope you guys are enjoying your one day off from the Stark R&D, which just ended, and we're jumping back into the fire again with another Blitz event. So that's with Power of Attorney. And first of all, I want to thank, and actually, this is going to be subject to change, of course, like everything is when it relates to math and events. You never know, but I do want to thank Mr. Hargrave for having the inside ear of Community Manager Archangel, who has properly told us exactly how the Public Defender, which is the Blitz milestone, is going to function. So now that I have that information properly, because the blog doesn't, we can actually do the math on that. So, if you're ready to go, then let's boil this down. And before we get started, I just want to do a quick overview of the Hulk Hunter event. That's September long, of course. I do this every major event video, just so people are aware of where we're at right now. And so we know that this is a 500,000 milestone point event. And I think as far as what I mentioned here, as far as where I think that people will actually unlock Abomination, this is probably not too far off from the truth, about the 353k mark. That's where you get like a big lump sum of orbs. And now the orbs do have an estimated value of 5.72, so, and they have like, you know, really big drop rates of like up to 100, so obviously you could just get really lucky and unlock them after your first orb. But I think this is where more average players are probably going to get them unlocked, unless you're super bad luck, then you might not. We'll talk about that later on, though, as we get higher up in the milestone points, though, of course. And these are the different items that you get throughout the month. And also, I want to talk about the Webstone milestone that we've been getting that's daily. And I've been keeping track of every single day so far. Because the first day there was 2,000 points. Every other day has been 2,200 that I'm aware of, so I'm just kind of like adding to the total. My original formula here was 2,000 times 31, and I've just added in 200 every time there's been 2,200. Just in case the number changes throughout the month, I just want to keep track of that properly. And so now that we have the information on some of these other events, such as the Quick Rumble, which is 13,000 total, and the Coordinated Assault, which actually has gone down in value, I expected that to be 36,000 because last month it was 3,600. Multiplied by 10, but actually it's only worth 18,200. It's actually worth about half of what I thought it would be. So, but there is Blue 4 Ions, of course, that's running right now, and that's that, I guess. So I added everything all up, and we actually get to about 442,000. That's the free-to-play subtotal. Now, that's not necessarily that you're not gonna have anywhere near this right now. It's just if you add up everything that we know so far, and the items, which we'll eventually get later on in the month, that's what you're gonna be at. Now, things that are missing, of course, is Brains' Brawn. That's the Brawn event. Going to be next week, and I don't have the points for that because we don't know how much we're getting there. And then Ethereal Arms, which I believe is related to Spider Weaver. You guys might remember the sort of the milestone where you're getting orb fragments and opening orbs and things like that, and you're getting points from that because it's a campaign event. So similar to Valkyrie and Viv's event, it's going to be like that probably, I'm sure. And then, of course, we have the leaderboard payout from Stark R&D, which for the top players got anywhere from 6,000 to 12,000 mutated cells. Is that going to matter for the grand total of 500k? Are we going to get close to that? I don't know, but we'll have to figure that out, you know, as the weeks go on as well. So, we do have the Power of Attorney milestone, and before we jump in on that as well, I just wanted to let you know where I get the information here is the blog post from Friday, and kind of the main stuff that you're going to be getting in this event. Now, of course, you have the event currency. You have the silver flash bits, which I don't think... I think her costume is actually pink flash bits, because there are both pink flash bits and silver flash bits. Now, they talk about having not only the She-Hulk costume, but also the Miss Marvel and Misty Knight costume. So I think pink flash bits are for She-Hulk. And I think the silver flash bits are for the other costumes. We're going to talk about that because there's quite a bit of costume credits in here. There's also a 5 red star She-Hulk, so I hope that nobody has actually upgraded their She-Hulk at this point and are saving for this if you're going to be doing that. There's some shards, of course. There's the event item, the irradiated blood, and more stuff as well. One thing I do want to talk about is if you go down to the Public Defender milestone, which is the Blitz, they never tell us what exactly it is. So I have been told by some others, and also verified, slightly verified by some other envoys that I spoke to, that it appears that Community Manager Archangel has given specific information to Mr. Hartgrave over how often this event is going to be running. The milestone, you know, that Stark R&D, that was daily, you know, 6 times daily. And so I've been told that this is 3 times every 2 days. So it's going to be 3 milestones total for the Public Defender milestone. Of course, this information isn't publicly available, so I really wish that instead of that this would have been updated and edited, maybe later on the Friday night, to actually give the proper information so that we knew how frequently it was running. I can't stress how much this pisses me off that specific people get information that's not publicly available, and I think that's honestly a little bit stupid. And so I hope that if anyone important is actually watching this video, that they actually learn from this and they give everyone the information so everyone's on an even footing. So, and that includes the other envoys as well, who have no idea what's going on. But let's talk about the math. So the total milestone points that's required for this event is 90,000. Now the total briefcases available, I put 60,000 question mark because that's 15,000 for the Public Defender milestones. If it's running 3 times, that's 45, and then you get 15,000 for the war. There's a war milestone that's running concurrently as well, so that's 60,000 total. Now, what will that get you? Of course, that'll give you the 22,880 mutated cells, or the event currency. The irradiated blood, which you do get from this event, is at the 40,000 milestone points, so you don't even need to clear, as you know, even though 60,000 is available, you only need 2/3 of that to get to the 40,000 mark, so that should be hopefully relatively easy to get for you. And then, of course, there's the pink flash bits and silver flash bits. What's weird is there's 57,500 flash bits for the pink that's available. Usually costumes only require 50, so I don't know if this is just bonus flash bits to convert into costume credits or what. You get that at the 40,000 mark at the same milestone as the irradiated blood as well. And there's 50 lumps of 50,000 silver flash bits, which I imagine for the other costumes available at 54k points and 90k points. So the 54k seems like it's free to play available. The 90k points does not seem to be. So that seems to be part of a whale milestone, because, you know, there's always going to be whale milestones. We're going to talk about that towards the end, though. Of course, you know, every major event usually has a couple of those extra milestones towards the end. That is more for whale players as well, who want to spend, you know, those offers that give you milestone points. So let's talk about the Public Defender milestone. This is the Blitz stuff. It's 17,000 points. You get 15,000 briefcases. So over the 6 days, that's 45,000, like I mentioned above. You're getting 60 points for a Blitz win or a sim. I highly recommend simming. Now, you're getting bonus points, though, for using Defenders and Gamma characters. So there are 4 free-to-play Defender characters. All of them are free-to-play available. So Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones. Punisher is not a member of the Defenders, as much as people like to think, like when the Defenders had their original rework years ago. And there are 2 free-to-play Gamma characters available. That's Hulk and She-Hulk. We also have Abomination and Brawn, but they are not free-to-play available. They are paywalled, so for the purposes of this, I'm not going to be including scenarios where you're using them. So if you do have all 4 of them, great. If they're geared up, even better. You're going to score some additional points for that. Now, so you're getting 30 points for any Defender or Gamma character. 40 if they're gear tier 13, and 80 if they're gear tier 15. Now, this is additive. So if you have a gear tier 15 Hulk, you're going to get 30 points plus 40 plus 80. So you're getting actually 150 for just that one character. And then, of course, you get the 60 for the simming. So if you have a full Defenders, and this is going to be 4 characters, by the way, you're going to get 180 for winning with them. You're also going to get 340 if they're gear tier 13, and 660 if they're gear tier 15. I don't know how many people have all 4 of them at gear tier 15, especially Daredevil, but who knows? I'm sure some people do. Now, a 2-person Gamma win is going to give you 120, 200 if they're gear tier 13, and 360 if they're gear tier 15. Obviously, it's less than the Defenders because there's only 2 versus 4 of them. So what I personally recommend is combining them, whoever your best characters are really with your gear tier. Get 5 of them together if you can, and then do a Blitz win. I personally recommend this at low Blitz tier. So if you're in the habit of sort of tiering down to make it easier to win, like that, I kind of did that with my Stark R&D a little bit on my baby account. This is probably the easiest way to use kind of not quite synergized characters to win easier. So if you have, like, say 2 G15 Gamma characters and 3 G13 Defenders over here, then you get 570 points. And if you do this like 8 times, like 25, use your Blitz charges, 25, 25, 25, 50, 50, 50. You know, if you do this 8 times, you're going to get 4,560 points. And that's quite a bit compared to the 17,000. Now, I want to talk about the total Blitz wins you need just normally. If you don't have Defenders or Gamma, that's going to be 283 Blitz wins. And actually, I'm going to change that back to this. So previously, I thought that this was going to be a 24-hour milestone until I found out that it was going to be a 2-day milestone just 3 times. So the total amount of rotations, though, that you need to do is about 8. So this means you're doing about 4 rotations daily, which is a fair bit. But if you are using your Gamma characters or higher geared characters, this will cut down on the total blitzes that you need to run. And so, like I said, with this previous example over here, that basically subtracts it. If you were to subtract this 4560 from the grand total, then you're actually down to about 200 or so blitz wins that you need to do. And that's about 6 blitz rotations over 2 days, which is, brings it down from 4 rotations daily to 3 rotations daily. So it's not a huge ton, because the Bionic Avengers for the Stark R&D event were worth a lot more, points-wise, I think, than these are. If you have all 4 Gamma characters, maybe that'll help you even more, but for most players, it's only going to bring your blitz rotations down a little bit. So by having that many geared characters, really, it's only bringing it down by 1 blitz rotation a day. But still, any less blitzing that you have to do, the better. So yeah, you're looking at about 3 to 4 blitz rotations a day, depending on how many wins you can do in your rotation. Obviously, this is more aimed towards players who have their entire roster unlocked, or the most of the characters unlocked. If you're a newer player, then you might have to do more blitzing if you want to do this, if you want to make that goal that you're going to get for this. So do keep that in mind. Alright, and let's talk about the Fighting Force war milestone here. Some of you may have noticed a little bit blip in the video because there were some really annoying sounds outside. I had to stop recording because it was too loud that I think it probably would have carried over through the video. So let's talk about this anyways, because it's 20,000 points that you're required to get. Of course, there are 15,000 briefcases that are up for grabs during this milestone, which is, by the way, a 6-day milestone. I'm hoping that everyone, no matter what your war time is, that everyone's actually getting their 3 war attacks in. I would assume so, but because it's a 6-day and it's kind of wonky, I haven't even looked, to be honest. I hope that they do. Anyways, you're getting about 500 points per war battle, so that's about 5,000 if you do your free-to-play 10. And then, of course, over 3 wars, this is 15,000 points. Now, the total war battles that you need without A-Force, because you are getting bonus points for them, is 40. How do you get that? Well, that's 13, 13, and 14 war attacks if you don't have any A-Force characters. However, if you do, personally, I recommend using them, even if they're just level 1. You can throw them into a suicide attack, and you'll get some 200 points per A-Force character. So even if they're at level 1, you're going to get like 1,300 points per A-Force attack if all 4 of them are together. So that's quite a bit. Now, if they're at Gear Tier 13, you're going to be getting 400 points. If they're at Gear Tier 15, you're going to be getting another 400 points. So having them together at Gear Tier 13 is going to get you about 2,900 points, and 4,500 if all 4 of them are Gear Tier 15. Now, if you multiply this over 3 wars, you're getting 8,700 points and 13,500, which is a huge, increase to what the total score is, right? If you have even Gear Tier 13 or Gear Tier 15 A-Force, you'll complete this no problem. So, otherwise, if you don't have any A-Force characters at all, you will need to use some additional refreshes and attacks in order to get this cleared. Personally, for me, I have actually most of my A-Force at Gear Tier 14, not 15. My Nico is 12. I might bump her up to 13 for the extra points for this milestone, though. And so, after we've kind of added up all the briefcases, that's 15,000 plus 45,000 here. Like I said, it gets you to about 60,000. So what does that get you, and what does that not get you? And so I want to bring up the chart here from the blog post as far as the rewards go. Now, it might be kind of hard to see, and my apologies, because of the way that my frame is set up. If I zoom in too far, the bottom gets kind of locked out. But you can kind of see here at the bottom at 63,000 anyways, that you get 50 She-Hulk shards, you're getting some teal basic catalyst parts, you're getting some Armory 16 orbs, and some other stuff. Beyond that, though, there's a 76,500. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I know it's really hard to see. 76,500, and then 90,000. And what are you getting out of this? Some Armory 16 orb fragments. You're getting some more teal gear. It's not even full crafted gear. You're getting an Elite 5 orb at the very bottom, 240 T4 ability materials, and of course another costume. Personally, I don't think those costumes are really valued that much. It's like $10 to $15 sometimes when I see costumes in the offers. So I wouldn't be too concerned about not getting there. Obviously, the most important thing is getting to that 40,000 milestone points, which actually is only about 2/3 of the way of the total available briefcases that we know of. Of course, I'm going to put this up one more time. that all of this is subject to change because it hasn't been made official on the blog post as far as the repeating of the public defender milestone. But if we assume that what we've heard is correct, then that's going to be the case here, that we will be able to get to up to 60,000 points, which does mean that, of course, getting to the event currency will be no problem. So let me know how you feel about blitzing yet again in the comments down below. This will be made available on my Discord channel as well, the spreadsheets for this event. Of course, when people ask sometimes, it does take about 6 hours before I do upload it onto my Discord so that people still watch this video so that they have a reason to. But otherwise, you will see it before the event goes live anyways. If you want to share it with your Discord channels or your alliances, you can do that as well. So, of course, everyone, thanks for watching the video. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.